Okay, good morning class. So at this point you guys got your test back. So we're looking at the grade 11 cycle test 4 2022 from our school. Okay. So that we are told that in question 1 in the diagram A is negative 2 and negative 3. Then we are told that C is 10 and 11, D is is 5 and negative 1, are the vertices of triangle ACD. Then we are told that CA intersect the y-axis at F and CA cuts the x-axis at G. The straight line DE is drawn parallel to CA. Okay, so those lines are parallel. If the lines are parallel, gradients are equal. Then we are also told that CFO, you see that whole angle there is angle alpha. Alright. I'm going to move that over a bit. Right, let's look at the first question. In the first question we are told that calculate the gradient of AC. Okay, so how do you calculate the gradient? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you want to line the board again. So the gradient formula for AC is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? So AC is going to be 11 minus 3 over 10 minus 2. So that gives you an answer of 8 over 12, which is 2 over 3. So that is 2/3. Which means to say the gradient of this line is also 2/3. Not so. Why? So lines are parallel. The next question says determine the equation of line DE in the form of y is equal to mx plus. So what do we know? The gradients are the same. So in 1.2 the equation is y is equal to 2 over 3x plus c. If you wanted, you could have first written the gradient of AC is equal to the gradient of ED, which is equal to 2 over 3. But if you substituted it there, okay, you don't have to actually state it. Okay. So then to calculate the value of C, I need to substitute the point as lying on DE. So let's substitute D, which is 5 and negative 1. That's an x and a y. So negative 1 is equal to 2 over 3 times 5 plus C. Okay, so it's negative 1 minus 10 over 3 C. So it's negative 13 over 3 is equal to C. Therefore your equation of that line is y is equal to positive 2 over 3x minus 13 over 3. Okay. Look at the next question. The next question says you must calculate the value of, calculate the size of alpha. So if you look at alpha, to work out the angle of inclination, that will be that angle that we will work out. Not so. Then what we notice about this part of the graph, it's 90 degrees. So what we do is we work out theta using the inclination, which is 2 over 3, and then we add the 90 degrees. Can you see that, people? So let's go. 1.3, we say tan of theta equals 2 over 3. So the gradient of AC. So theta is equal to arctan of 2 over 3. You an answer of 33,69. Which is this angle here, plus the 90. Therefore alpha is equal to 90 plus 33,69. that gives us 123.69. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll take this off here. Let's say the alpha is 123.69. Okay. Then in the next question we are asked, B is a point in the first quadrant such that A, B, D, E in that order forms a rectangle. So what I do is I draw a rectangle, okay, mimicking or giving us the idea of what's happening here. So it's A, B, D, E. So DE is one side, A, so these lines are parallel, so that is what VB is going to lie approximately. Okay. And it's always easier to do it this way. Okay, if you draw it in. Gives us a sense of basically what's happening. The question says calculate the coordinates of M, the midpoint of AD. Okay, so calculate M, the midpoint of AD, the 1.4.1. So the midpoint of AD is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, so AD is going to be negative 2 plus 5 over 2 and 3 plus negative 1 over 2. So that gives us 3 over 2 and 2 over 2, which is 1. So this is M, which is 3 over 2 and 1. But people, the rectangle, okay? There are 6 properties of a rectangle. Firstly, the vertex angles are at 90 degrees, that's 1. All the vertex angles are 90, that's 1. Diagonals bisect each other, so that is equal to that there. We know that opposite sides are parallel. We know that opposite sides are equal. And we know that the diagonals are equal in length. Okay, those are the properties of a rectangle. So when they say rectangle, all of those things should come to mind immediately. Okay, let's take this out here. So, yeah, so that's that. So 1.4.2, the question says, yes? One on the formula, one on the x and one on the y. Okay. And then it says write down the coordinates of the midpoint of BE. But I just indicated now the midpoint of BE is the same as the midpoint of AD. Can you see that, people? So the midpoint of BE is also 3 over 2 and 1. Why? Because the angles bisect each other, cut each other in half 3. Then they want you to calculate the length of DE. Okay, so you see the length of DE, we see the length, the diagonals are the same in a rectangle. There are 2 shapes in which the diagonals are the same. The one is a rectangle and the other one is a square. Okay, so this is a rectangle. So we know that the length of BE is the same as the length of AD, which is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Where that gives us now the square root of minus 2 minus 5 squared plus 3 minus 1 squared. Okay. So that's the square root of, open brackets, negative 2 minus 5 squared plus, open brackets, 3 plus 1 squared. Okay. So that's going to give you the root of 65. Or you could have worked out AB first and then conclude AB is equal to DE, which is the root of 65. Okay. This wasn't the issue, nah? This was still child's play. And this was the what? The issue. To some of you, nah? Most of them. Most of them. This is how it goes. No? One will be of easy, not of too easy. Not horrible. No, man. Alright, let's see. Maybe, right. So, we are told here that in the diagram below, straight line SP is drawn. SP is drawn having S and P as its X and Y intercept respectively, which means to say that the equation of SP is X plus AY minus A is equal to 0. P is X. That angle here is alpha. And alpha is greater than 0, which means to say it's positive. It's also given that OS, we know that OS is equal to 3OP. Yes? Straight line RT is drawn, and R on SP and RT is perpendicular to SP. So if these lines are perpendicular, what do we know? Product of the two gradients is -1. And cuts the y-axis at T, which is 0 and -5. Everything else is on the diagram. So I can take this up a notch here. So let's look at the first question. The question says, calculate the coordinates of P. First question says, calculate the coordinates of P. Alright, now P is what, people? What is P to us? P is a y-intercept. Not so. What do you do for y-intercept? Then x equal to 0. So, again with that equation there, so I got 0 plus ay minus a is equal to 0. Take a over the equal sign, so ay is equal to a, so y is equal to 1. Okay. So on both sides here, so the coordinates of P, therefore P is going to be 0 and 1. You would agree with that? So what's the length of OP? 1. So if you look here, that OP is 1. Not so. Then what's the length of OS? 3 times 1, which is 3. So what's the coordinates of S? 3 and 0. Do you see that? So the next question says, show that alpha is 161,67. So in other words, I need to know the gradient of OP, PS. Not so. How do you calculate gradient? Change in y over change in x. Not so. Do you rise and run yet? You either go with the coordinates of P and S there. So the gradient of PS is going to be 0 minus 1 over 3 minus 0, which is negative a third. Or I could have said that OS over OP. No, it's actually OP over OS. The other way around. Why? Because that's change in y over change in x. That's your gradient. Okay, so change in y is going to be OP over OS, which is 1 over 3. Not so, but because it's negative, it's a negative gradient. So there was 2 ways to calculate your gradient. Okay? So your alpha, of course, going to be tan of alpha equals negative 1 over 3. So tan of negative 1 over 3, it's a negative angle, then I have to add 180. So it's going to be arctan, shift tan of negative 1 over 3, then I add 180, gives me an angle of 161,57. Okay. 161,57 degrees. For a show that will prove that question, you can't start off with 161,57. You must end off with it. Okay. So let's take this off, everything else that is needed.
Sir?
Yes?
Sorry. For 2.1.
Yes?
Right? In 2.3, we told that A is 3, right?
Yeah?
So let's say, what if I
Use the 3.
3
Then you lose everything. Because that was introduced afterwards. Okay. You can't bring that information up. You can bring information down, yes, but not up. Okay. Right, the next question says 2.3. Determine the equation of RT in the form of y is equal to mx plus c if it's given that a is equal to 3. So now we are given the value for a. Not so? So my equation now reads 2.3. If a is equal to 3, it's going to be x plus 3y minus 3 is equal to 0. So they want the equation of RT. Now RT is this line, it's perpendicular to that line PS. So if lines are perpendicular, what do we know? The product of the two gradients is negative 1. So y is equal to negative a third x plus 1. Okay? So the gradient of RT is going to be 3. Or we can say negative a third times the gradient of RT is minus 1 and then divide by both sides by negative a third and you'll get 3 anyway. Okay? So then y is equal to 3x plus c. Now again to calculate c, I need a point on RT, which is t. So since you have t, we know therefore your c value is negative 5 and 2/3. Therefore your equation is y is equal to 3x minus 5 and 2/3. Okay? Wa alaikum salam. Thanks. Okay. 2.4, it's further given that the equation of RT is defined by. Further given that the equation of RT is defined by the line is defined by the equation y is, okay, so that confirms what we have there. Calculate the coordinates of R, the point where PS and TR meet. People, point R is also the point of what? The point of intersection. So here we got 3x minus 5 and 2/3. And the equation of this line here, of course, is y is equal to negative a third x plus 1. Otherwise, I could have used the opening equation there in 2.3 there. Okay? So let's go with that. So 2.4. For R, the coordinates of R, we see the two equations equal to each other. So negative a third x plus 1 is equal to 3x minus 5 and 2/3. I'm going to multiply throughout by 3. It's going to give you negative x plus 3 is equal to 9x minus, that's 15, 17. Not so? 15, 16, 17. X is one side, numbers the other side, so negative 10x is equal to negative 20. So x is 2, is that correct? Yes? So y is equal to, I can go with any one of the two, so it's going to be a third times 2 plus 1. It's going to give you an answer of a third. So therefore R is 2 and a third. Is that correct? Nice. .5. In 2.5 we are told, I guess I can take this off here. Well, I'm going to put there that R is 2 and a third. Okay, it's very messy at this point. So the question says, calculate the area of triangle PRT if it's given that R is a third, 2 and a third. Which now confirms this here. Now say for argument's sake, you got 2.4, a different value for R here. Okay? You don't use your R value, you must use what is given to you. Okay? So now we are asked to calculate the area of triangle. How do you calculate the area of a triangle? So half a base times height. So area is equal to half. What's my base? PR. And what's my height? RT. Okay. Remember, when we're going with half a base times height, the base is going to, relative to the base, has to be your perpendicular. Okay. So I know some people work out the length of PS. Okay, for what? I don't know. But this is the triangle in English. Okay. So we need to work out the length of PR, distance formula. So we use the formula already, so I don't have to write it down. There's 0 minus 2 squared plus 1 minus a third squared. This gives you a length of, what's the length of PR? 2 root 10 over 3, no? And then the length of RT, same story. RT is going to be 2 minus 0 squared plus a third minus plus 5 over 2 over 3 squared. That gave you an answer of root 10, straight, 2 root 10. Now coming back to the area is going to be a half times 2 root 10 over 3 times 2 root 10. So that gives us an area of, that cancels, so it's going to be 20 over 3 units. Okay. You guys understand? Alright. I'm not going to write the lengths on there because as we said the diagram is already overpopulated there. So I'm not going to still add to the misery. Not the mess. Look at the last question. The last question we are told that calculate the radius of a circle passing through PRT. So if you look at this here, and I draw a circle around this, what do we see here? We see a 90 degrees, not so? If you draw a circle, and you got 90 degrees here, what can we conclude? AB is your diameter. Why? Because it's the converse of angles in a semicircle, or 90 degrees subtended by 4. Not so. So if you look at this being your 90 here, then where does your diameter lie? PT is your diameter. Not so. That's your diameter. So half of your diameter is your radius. Not so. So the length of PT is going to be 1 minus 5 and 2/3, which gives you 6 and 2/3. Not so. So your radius is half of that, which gives you an answer of, that is 1820 over 3 divided by 2 is going to be 10 over 3. Or 3 and 3. Okay? Or 3 comma 3, or 3 comma 3 recurring. All of that I would have accepted. Okay? So was this difficult after all? Not at all. Not a chance. Okay. People, question 3. We are told that the drawing alongside shows a can of deodorant spray fitting tightly in a box of all sides, in a box on all sides and at the bottom end. The top of the deodorant has a lid in the shape of a hemisphere, which is half a sphere. Okay, so it's going to minimize this a bit. Everything that was given is on this diagram here, of course. Alright, first question. The first question says calculate the volume. Oops. The question says calculate the volume of the box. How do you calculate the volume? Volume is equal to length times breadth times height. So the length is 4, the breadth is 4, and the height is 12. Which gives you an answer of 192 centimeters cubed. 3.1.2. The height of the cylinder, i.e. the shaded section. So that is what they want you to calculate. Now if your diameter is 4, can you see your diameter is 4, no? Then what's the radius? 2. So from there to this also 4. Not so. But from the top to there is how much? 2. Why? Because it's from center to circumference. Not so? Right? So if that is 2 less 12, will give you a height of 10. So that is 10. So the height is equal to centimeters. Okay. Not squared. Centimeters. Right, you guys still with me? Let's take this off. So here we are told that the volume of the deodorant can with the lid. So the volume is equal to that cylinder, the volume of the cylinder, plus the volume of the hemisphere. How do you calculate the volume of the cylinder? Area of base times height, so it's pi r squared h plus, what is the volume of the hemisphere? Is half 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Half times 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Okay, why half? Because that's a hemisphere. So we go pi times r. Now the radius we already indicated is going to be 2 squared times your height, which is 10, plus a half times 4 over 3 pi times r, which is 2 cubed. Okay? There you go, pi times 2 squared times 10 plus a half times 4 over 3 times pi times 2 cubed is 136 over 3 pi, which is 142,42 centimeters cubed. 3.1.4. Now ask you to calculate the surface area of the deodorant can with the lid. So the surface area is going to be this here. Besides the top now, the top is excluded, plus the hemisphere, besides the bottom. Not so. Why? Because that is not forming part of the external surface area. So to calculate the surface area of a cylinder is going to be 2 area perimeter of base, which is 2 pi r times height, plus twice area of base, but only going to consider 1 here, so it's going to be pi r squared. Plus, for this one here, for a hemisphere, it's a half times 4 pi r squared. That's the top part here. And it's normally plus pi r squared, which is the base here, but we're excluding that base here. Okay. So let's go with that. It's going to be 2 pi. The radius is 2 times the height of the can is 10, plus pi times 2 squared, plus a half times 4 pi r, pi times 2 squared. Okay. So that gives us 2 pi. Oops. 2 pi. Oops. Times 2 times 10 plus pi times 2 squared plus a half times 4 pi times 2 squared. It's going to give you 52 pi. Is that correct? 163. Yes. Okay. 163,36 centimeters squared. Okay. Just take it away there, the calculator. Okay. Then in the next shape, we are in the next sum, in 3.2, we are told that a solid metal figure below has the shape of inverted cone weld on top of a cylinder. So again, you've got the cylinder again and a cone here. The radius of both the cylinder and the cone is 5 centimeters. The height are shown. One is 12 and one is 10. Remember, the radius is 5. So the radius is 5, then from there to there is 5. No? Minimize this a bit. Let's go to the first question. The first question says, calculate the slanted height of the conical shape, or the cone shape. Okay. So, the slanted height is that there, not so, that's 90, and this of course is 12. So in 3.2.1, the slanted height squared is equal to 12 squared plus 5 squared. It's 169, so the slanted height is 30. Okay. The next question says in 3.2.2, calculate the total surface area of the figure. So the surface area of a cone is going to be R pi RS, which is the outer part, plus pi r squared, which is the base of the cone. That I'm omitting here, plus for the sphere, so that is going to be something like that, plus that cone, that cylinder. The surface area of a cylinder again is a perimeter of base, which is 2 pi r times height, plus twice of 2 pi r squared, but since it's only the base, it's going to be pi r squared. Okay. So it's going to be pi times, your radius is 5, times your slanted height is 13, plus 2 pi, your radius is 5, your height is 12, plus pi, your radius is 5 squared. Okay. There we go. So it'll be pi times 5 times 30 plus 2 pi times 5 times 12 plus pi times 5 squared. It's 210 pi, which is that correct? No? Okay, no problem. Let's check where we wrong. Three, two, two. So I got 2 pi 15 yes. Sorry? Supposed to be 10. Okay? Yeah, so that now. My mistake here is 10. Now why did I use 12? Oh, it's from the cup. It's from the cylinder. I use the 12 from the cone. Okay, is that my only mistake? Okay, sorry about that. Which gives us 596. No? I remember the answer that initially I didn't ring a bell. Okay, so that is centimeters. Okay. The next question says, bonus question. So here we are told, I think you guys was exposed to this question already. And still you guys don't get it right. What's wrong with you people? A car travel x over 6 kilometers in 20 minutes. So I divide by 20. It goes x over 120 kilometers